Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gotta Go Orlando. The countdown is on and DinoLand is disappearing. Big changes are happening inside Disney's Animal Kingdom. Changes so massive they're reshaping an entire corner of the park. And today we're heading deep into the construction zone of tropical Americas and the brand new Encanto area and Indiana Jones, where Disney has quietly hit a major milestone. The Casita is going vertical, foundations are expanding fast, and believe it or not, one attraction might actually open ahead of schedule. This is your first look at the future of Animal Kingdom, and trust me, things are moving a lot faster than anyone expected. So before we dive into this construction update, let's roll them titles. So let's start with what we know so far. Walt Disney World announced that Trillo Bites and Dino Bites snacks in DinoLand USA would serve their final guests on October the 19th, 2025, before permanently closing on October the 20th. So they are now gone. They also announced that DINOSAUR and Restaurantosaurus will close on February the 2nd, 2026. This is just over a year when Chester and Hester Dinorama closed for its demolition, and most likely we will see the full area being fully closed off to the public around February the 3rd, 2026. So what is coming to this new area? First up we have Pueblo, Esperanza, the heart of the rainforest where the Village of Hope comes to life. Here you'll find a bustling quick serve restaurant and get ready to be amazed by the critter carousel that is sure to delight everybody of all ages. After you've had your fill of this section of the new land, with its beautiful streets lined with stores and restaurants, the stunning central fountain all surrounded with lush greenery, you can head deeper to explore even more of the rainforest and discover two new attractions. Just to the right of the town centre of Pueblo, Esperanza, you'll find a brand new Indiana Jones adventure attraction, taking the place of Dinosaur. This ride will be a fresh take on the classic attraction, with a storyline that's all new to Animal Kingdom and completely different to any other Indiana Jones attractions. It is the third non-cloned version of this attraction, so you're in for a treat. Next we have Encanto Magical Madrigal Casita Dark Ride, and this is going to be a family-friendly adventure. As of yet, it's not been confirmed what type of attraction it will be. There are two rumours flying around at present. The first being a magically moving furniture style ride, but Encanto inspired, using the On the Mover style system, similar to what you would find in the Haunted Mansion and the Little Mermaid. But would Walt Disney World use this older system in one of their newer attractions? Especially in most recent attractions they've used trackless systems, such as Rise of the Resistance or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I suppose it all boils down to budget. The second rumour is a boat ride. Now the rumour mill is saying that this is less likely, but looking at them foundations and the thickness and depth, it reminds me of when I was younger and I seen Valhalla being built at Pleasure Beach Resort, Blackpool. The foundations are very substantial, and I'm not saying it is, but I'm not saying it's not. I guess we'll just have to wait a little longer to find out. And the story for this attraction kicks off when Antonio gets the amazing ability to talk to animals, and his room turns into a rainforest. So it's time to explore the Casita with him, and you'll never know who you might meet along the way. This attraction will use a mix of screen, projection mapping and physical sets, much like what you would find on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So now let's go and take a look at the actual construction site. So we're going to start off with the rear of the site, where you can see a large green walled building, which is the show building for Dinosaur. Now we know from concept art released, the front facade of Dinosaur the Ride will receive a completely new front, and it will look and have similarities to what you will find at the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot, with a more overgrown lost aesthetic. This will most likely be the extent of the external construction to this attraction, but internally it will be getting a complete retheme to Indiana Jones Adventure. Now just to the right of the Dinosaur Ride you can see the main construction site. This construction site extends right away from back of stage right away through to the walkway that separates the areas. So the area closest to us is the back of stage and the main show building for the new Encanto dark ride. Then moving closer to the top of the image is the former Hester and Chester Dinorama, which will be the centre of the Village of Hope. So from this angle you can see the land is cut into two. First is the smaller area, which was the Boneyard, located right in front of Restaurantosaurus, and as you can see the Encanto expansion dark ride is the most developed area due to having several months of a head start. So let's take a closer look at what's happening at the Encanto expansion site. First of all, we have a tower crane on site ready for some heavy lifting, and it's sitting at the side of what will be the show building for the dark ride. At present it's been lifting heavy bundles of reinforcement bar, which has been laid for concrete pours. Now we can kind of say that the show building and workshops and system room have gone vertical, kind of. And from what we can see in the latest images is that these two rooms sit at a lower level to the actual main building. One of the rooms has already had its floor poured and is going through the process of being smoothed over, and we can see this with a ride-on grinder being sat on site. Then the second half you can see all the pipework sticking upwards out of the dirt. You'll notice that some of the pipework will lead into the attraction itself and other pipework heading out back. The pipework heading out back will be for the power to head into the building and for compressed gases and air for special effects, and the pipework going from the room into the actual ride will carry electrical data lines for effects and even hydraulic oil lines for animatronics. We can also see in the centre of this room that reinforcement bar and mesh has started to be laid down to strengthen the floor, ready for the floor to be poured and polished like the other half. The reason why I'm saying these rooms are below ground level is the road at the side of the site, which sits up higher than the rooms. Also, the wall that runs alongside this road has steps, which is to bring you up to what will be the ride's true level. And what's really interesting is most of the walls that you see right now, which are being formed, will sit below ground level and be buried. Hence why all the walls seem to have earth pulled away from them. All this earth will be pushed back into the trenches, which is known as backfilling. And you can even see columns formed out of concrete every few meters along the walls. This is all to hold back and retain that earth and hold up the steel structure made from I-beams for the main building skeleton. Now we're going to move forwards a little bit to the front of the site, where we can see a large pit. This pit started off with 4 large columns being poured. This will be a room that's going to sit below ground level, and the walls will extend up to actual ground level. We can also see that this room has been split into 2, and there is an access doorway, and that smaller section will most likely be a stairwell heading down into that room. From the amount of work and the depth of the foundations that are being dug, and it's not just piling happening, it suggests this attraction is gonna be very big and very impressive. But as yet we do not know what type of ride system it's gonna be. One thing that is evident is there is a lot more concrete work to be done, as the full site has reinforcement bars sitting everywhere. I mean, when you compare this to say Legoland Florida Florida's new dark ride, there's a lot more going into this one, and it's completely different. Personally, I have to say, with the amount of concrete work being added, it makes it look like a water ride or a trackless dark ride. And the more I think about it, I'm leaning towards that trackless dark ride, especially the way the ride vehicle looks in the concept art. It looks very similar to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and definitely not like a boat. From what we have seen in concept art and the model, we know that the show building is taller towards the back and becomes lower towards the front, apart from the Casita that sits on top of the hill. Now, much like the Haunted Mansion, the main ride building will be hidden behind what looks to be a hill and foliage. This will take the building out of the sightline once you're inside the land, fully immersing us into the world of Encanto. And I'm very sure the building will also be painted with that magic vanishing paint. Let's just hope it doesn't stick out like Guardians of the Galaxy. Enjoying the video so far? We hope so. If you're finding it helpful or just having fun watching, don't forget to smash subscribe and give us a thumbs up and share with your friends and family, as it really does help the channel grow and keeps the good vibes going. Love Orlando, so do we. That's why we created GottaGoOrlando.com, your one-stop guide to everything happening in Orlando, Florida. From the latest theme park news to seasonal events, insider guides and so much more, we've got you covered. Planning your trip, we've teamed up with Florida Tix for unbeatable deals on theme park tickets, and with Booking.com North America for flights, hotels, car rentals and theme park and attraction tickets all in one place. Need wheels while you're there? Check out our partner Rent Cars, where you can easily compare prices and find the perfect ride for your Orlando adventure. All the links are waiting for you in the description down below. So take a peek, plan your trip and get out there and go and make some memories. Now we're going to move on to where the possible queuing area will be for this attraction. Looking at the concept art, there seems to be an entrance at the side where you'll walk through an arch, and much like the Navi River boat ride, it will be covered and have berms surrounding it so you don't see the show building. But as for now, we are too early into the project and there's nothing I'm seeing in permits and concept art to point 100% where the lines will begin. Or will we enter through the Casita? Who knows? From the concept, we can see a large lawn at the front of the attraction, and I kind of feel like this will be for photos and character meet and greets. Now let's move over to the former Chester and Hester Dinosaur Treasure Gift Store. I have to say, this is one of them stores I'm really going to miss. I remember walking into it for the first time and being blown away with the nostalgic clutter collection of toys from the past. Every corner filled with greatness, and it's all gonna be stripped. Sad face. But moving forwards, we have to make room for the new, even if we don't like it. As we've seen in recent photos, the building has been stripped of all exterior theming, such as the signage, like the going out of existence sale sign. We're also seeing new walkways being installed at the front and new drainage being prepared and pipes laid out front. Much like Restaurantosaurus, this space will be reimagined internally and externally, but the existing building will stay the same. From permits, the building will not change its shape or even be extended, and it will still be a retail or restaurant space, but with a new overlay. Now Restaurantosaurus, this unit is still operating and will do so till February the 2nd. And I'm very sure once that date hits, the walls will move to close this area off and the building will be stripped of its exterior theming. But as for the inside aesthetics of both units, Restaurantosaurus and Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasure Gift Store, we will just have to wait for Disney to give us a sneak peek of what's in store internally. Now we're going to move over to the dinosaur attraction, which will close on February the 2nd, where the ride will be stripped out, but the ride system will stay the same, and also the track layout will also remain the same. This will be a brand new overlay added to the existing system, much like Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the Magic Kingdom. As for the ride vehicles, we are seeing some new additions being tested on the cars, which seems to be something to do with sound. This potentially could be to do with the new attraction using dynamic sound that will surround and immerse the riders, and it also means the sound may travel with each car, much like what you would see with the floats in Disney parades. Now we're going to head over to the other side of the walkway, where the demolition of the boneyard has been completed. The replacement for the play area will now be found between the souvenir shop and the Indiana Jones Adventure ride, which has been suggested in permits. It will be a smaller and simpler play area compared to the old boneyard. Now back to the area of the former boneyard and entrance. You will enter through a brand new archway, and once you've entered through the archway, the streets will be lined with buildings, stores and outdoor seating areas hidden behind storefronts. Your eye will naturally lead up towards the main village fountain, and once you've made it up the main street to the actual location of the fountain, the carousel will sit around to the left. The area at present has been flattened, waiting for utility and foundation work. Also, a retaining wall is sitting at the rear of the site to deal with the different levels of landscape. We can now see that markers have been placed ready for the utility pipework to be laid, which will carry the power to the carousel and drainage for the ride and queuing area. The carousel, when in position, will be surrounded with trees and greenery, which will hide the ride from the main paths, giving it more of a reveal once you fully enter the area. The planting, which we know Disney is amazing at using to hide back of house and backs of stores, will help in immersing you fully into the new land. We can also see now that digging and pipe laying for utilities for buildings that are hidden within the concept art and surrounded with trees next to the retaining wall. And with the amount of pipe work going into this area, this could suggest that this is a substation for that area of the park. This section of the land will not take long. To be honest, we could see the area being completed very quickly, as this attraction is a fancy version of a flat ride with famous Disney animal characters that guests will ride upon. It will most likely take WDW longer to dress the area than build the ride. It's all about that Disney detail. In fact, this carousel will feature classic characters from Disney animations such as Simba, Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King, Scuttle and Crush from The Little Mermaid, Abu from Aladdin, Eeyore and Piglet from Winnie the Pooh, Kevin from Up and many more. With this area being simpler than the dark ride and it being on the outskirts of the land, could Walt Disney World open the carousel earlier than the rest of the land, so that the park doesn't lose too many attractions all at once? We know that Walt Disney World work very strategic with closures and openings, and I'm 100% sure they're going to be doing the same here to ensure that Animal Kingdom still has a pull for its guests. I would like to take a moment to thank BioReconstruct for going out and taking these amazing photos of the construction happening here in Orlando, Florida. Please go and check him out on X and YouTube. Demolition and groundworks are the slow part of construction, and a lot is hidden under the ground, never to be seen. Once this phase is finished, we will see very big jumps in the rebuild. Steelwork pops up very fast, and then we will start to see the real scale of what's coming. All them concrete columns with pins will see steelwork frames for the buildings, and we will definitely be back to talk more about this project and all the other WDW construction and expansion projects and Universal Construction SeaWorld and its new dark ride and all the other awesome projects coming to Orlando, Florida. So please don't forget to hit subscribe, and if you're watching on TV, all you have to do is scroll up, head over to the right where our logo is and hit subscribe. It really does help. Thank you. So now at this stage we will see more concrete being poured, and I'm keeping a close eye on what the Encanto building will give us in clues in regards to what type of attraction it will be. Also, like I said before, Dinosaur will close on the 2nd of February, so go and get them last rides in. Check out them sound speakers before the full area will close, and once this happens the full site will flow better for the construction crews. As the site will develop and evolve, we'll be able to see the project timeline and potential opening move forwards. But looking at where we are right now and the potential opening time, I'm expecting the full land to open late 2027, early 28. But that is just a guess. Will it be like Star Wars Galaxy Edge with portions opening before? Like I said, that carousel. What's your thoughts and opinions? Are you excited for this brand new land at Animal Kingdom? Comment down below. Would you like even more Orlando, Florida updates? Don't forget to check out our website that covers everything that's happening here in Orlando, Florida. It's gottagoorlando.com, or you can scan the QR or click the button on the end screen. As always, get out there and go and make some memories, and thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope to see you on our next construction update, wherever that may be. And all I can really say right now is bye YouTube.